cluster for the SEMA that goes up to 280, like you said, and then it just has Nismo on one of the dials. I completely forgot about it. It's probably gone now.
That shit's all expensive too, you know.
Yeah.
Like I got kind of lucky. I found this thing for like $100.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just kind of trying to buy these odds and ends before I leave because I know as soon as you leave, it's going to get more expensive, you know.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
man, we've been burning through this, dude. We're actually making pretty good time. I'm trying to keep this first episode pretty short because I just don't want to go on these huge tangents, you know.
I mean, typically that's what people like. I mean, even from podcasts that I listen to, they stay on topic generally, but when they start bullshit and talk about all kinds of crazy stories and shit, then it's more entertaining.
Dude, we blew through these talking points. I drafted it. I took 5 minutes and literally just drafted all these talking points, man.
You don't have anything else?
No, I mean I got one last one that we're gonna maybe upset some people with.
Oh, jeez.
Who is the most overrated professional drifter?
Overrated professional drifter.
I'm trying to send shots, dude. Episode 1.
I don't know, man.
I'll go first. Daigo Saito. 100%.
Daigo Saito's so good, though.
100%. Dude, absolutely. And here's why. Because the dude cannot keep proximity for more than a few seconds, and then he backs away, and then he realizes he's backing away, and then he gets proximity again. Because he has like 5,000 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean,
dude needs to chill it with the horsepower and just get closer more frequently and for longer periods of time.
Yeah, and I don't see that brings up another topic entirely that I'm not a huge fan of right now is the huge horsepower builds.
You don't need it.
It's kind of off topic from what you just said, but that's why. So I used to watch Formula Drift all the time, and I used to even the lower class, and I like watching the grassroots Japanese stuff more now because they're lower power cars. You
it's
see
more
these
fun.
cars, yeah, like these 1,500 horsepower cars. They blow through the course in like no time at all. It's all smoke. You can barely even see what the cars are doing. I mean, they're getting better at it now with their camera angles and stuff, but it's just less exciting.
It is, and I think it makes it such a bigger gap. So I think the teams that are already in it, the teams and drivers, kind of create a monopoly by doing that. Yeah. You know, like if you have that much power and that much grip, how hard is it going to be for a newcomer that has the skill to keep up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like they're literally just running, like, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's just running a monopoly, dude. Like they're just like, they're killing it and they know they're killing it, and like nobody else is going to compete unless they have a ton of money or a ton of sponsors. And that's the cool thing about D1 or like D1 Street League or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I guess more like Street League because some of the D1 dudes are running, I mean, Daigo runs a lot of power in D1 too, but like in Street League, you know, they don't have a ton of power. So you have some of these dudes that are either super young or like just no-name guys. I don't even think Street League exists anymore now that I'm talking about it. I think they quit that a year or two ago.
I'm not too sure.
Street League was the shit, man. Basically, for those that don't know, D1 had GP, which was Grand Prix. You know, it's like the FD equivalent, I guess, for Japan. And then they had D1 Street League, and Street League means your car had to pass the JCI inspection here. So all of your parts had to be street legal, 100%, which means you're typically not running like buku horsepowers. Mm-hmm. Your cars were, you know, I mean, you'd have some that were in the like 500-ish range, but normally they weren't wild. They had full interiors. Yeah, dude, Street League was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole high horsepower thing is really, really, really lost me as far as following the sport. You know, the other thing is that so they're normalizing the cars too much, I think. So like, you know, when drifting first started more in professional realm, there was a lot more variety.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was still S chassis and the odd like Supra or something somewhere, but now it's all super high horsepower Mustangs. Freaking, there's a couple of standouts. That one Viper is pretty dope, but they all run like NA V8 like NASCAR engines.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, honestly, dude, I'm just some guy that's talking right now about drifting, but I feel like that has to do with like manufacturer buy-in. You know what I mean? Like I feel like as drifting gets more expensive and not expensive. Why did I say that? As it gets more popular, these companies are seeing that, and so they're trying to promote their cars. Like I think that's what it is. I could be totally wrong, but that's what it feels like. you know, when it started, obviously it was not popular. It wasn't a big deal. And so people drove whatever they had.
Yeah.
And then I think Scion was really the first one to kind of hop on the train. And they sponsored, I know most recently they had like Ken Gucci and Frederick Asbo with the big Scion reps. But then, yeah, like you said, you're seeing a lot of Mustangs and Camaros now.
Yeah. I think, yeah, so overrated, back to the original question. Overrated, man. I don't know. I used to follow Von Gittin Jr. a
Yeah.
lot more. He's kind of fallen off for me. He's not like my favorite. I mean, I don't know, man. It's for me in general, just Formula Drift is kind of getting like stale, and especially since those two dudes that drive the S15s came in, like they're like annihilating dudes. It's not even a contest anymore. Like it's really just a championship for second place.
I haven't kept up at all with FD, so I have no idea who you're talking about. I think I've seen one of those 15s on a Super Street magazine, but
yeah, they came in, so they're really bringing that typical racing setup where you have everything like planned out. Their team cars are exactly the same other than the livery. And they just like swept through, and I think for the past 2 years they're like one of them won and the other one won. I'm really speaking out of turn because I don't follow it as much as I should. I'm way more of a fan of the grassroots stuff.
yeah, it's just more fun, dude, and like I think it's more personal too. You know,
Yeah.
there's such a pedestal I think for the FD guys, and so when you do the grassroots or even like some of the Pro 3 stuff and Pro 2 or whatever, it's just like I don't know. It feels more like a community, I guess.
Have you been following what that dude Mad Mike has been doing over in the UK with his like drift shifters thing?
Yes, he's making waves.
Yeah. So I've never a fan of the like the judgment based system.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because growing up doing drifting on video games, and a lot of people probably be like, "Oh, video game drifter, whatever." What he's talking about. But like taking that guesswork out of it from the judges and making it all points based or like stats based, like measuring proximity, which I think they already do. They can actually like measure the proximity between the cars. And I don't know if they factor that into their judgment, but I think it should all be like more points based. That would be more interesting to me.
There's just a lot more tech involved with that too,
Yeah, I mean,
well, plus, it started as a judging thing, I mean, if you go back and watch any option DVD or Drift Tengoku or whatever, like all the old D1 stuff was just those three judges who scream all the time.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you their names. I know Keiichi Tsuchiya's on there a lot. And he's about the only one I know. The other dude is with the long hair. I forget his name too. I forget all their names, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to act like I know. But
I mean, we've all seen the videos. We all know who you're talking about.
it's in my intro, bro. It's in the intro twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear them right there. That's in case you didn't know, that's them.
Yeah.
I love that, dude. I love that clip. What?
Even back then, when they were doing it more regularly, like the cars were slower, so you can actually see what was going on. And
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I think it was kind of a joke too. Like I don't know, it felt more lighthearted back then. Like it didn't really matter for most of the events. Obviously, when you had like the D1 GP and stuff, it mattered. But a lot of the events that they would judge, because they would judge like more than just the D1 GPs, So I don't know. It just felt more lighthearted and not like everything is on the line with this FD run or whatever.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you start putting sponsors into it, man, you got to make them happy.
That is so true.
Results.
That is so true. But
I don't know, man. No, I'm just not a fan of the judge-based system. Or I mean, it could be a supplemental thing, which I think they're kind of going to, like I mentioned before, a supplemental with like tracking entry speeds and actual angle and getting the numbers off of that stuff and factoring that in. But there's a lot of controversy you'll see of, the judges will make a call and everybody will be like, so-and-so clearly won, but
yeah,
it's all for what the judges think.
Or they just need to quit doing one more times and be decisive.
Yeah.
That crap bugs me. I think that's the biggest thing that bugs me is they just do so many one more times for runs that don't need to be one more time.
Yeah.
But anyways, dude, we should probably start wrapping up. I guess before we hop off, man, tell people a little bit about how they're going to find you on social media and kind of what you have going on.
So You can find me on Instagram pretty much. It's sound of music underscore BNR32 because that's what I rock these days. You know, I got out of the drifting game because I got a chance to get my. I would never say I'm out of the drifting game. I'm always looking, but I got my dream car, which is the GTR that I have now. So, and maybe soon here I'll be starting to work on the Chaser more, start stripping it down, selling off what I don't need, and getting it prepped to turn into my dream drift car someday. We'll see.
Yeah, dude. I'm stoked on that too. I think I've been trying to egg you on that ever since you got it. It's like, bro, throw a W58 into a Jeep. Like, don't give a shit. Yeah, dude. I want to see that thing slide so bad, and it's such a cool car.
In the UK, dude, there's a lot of support for him over there too.
Yeah, there is.
The dream is alive.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Darius is going to be heading to the UK pretty shortly here, and living his best life, as the millennials say.
They've got a really awesome grassroots scene over there.
Maybe you can meet Pete the Russian, dude, Minty Fresh, and those guys.
Dude, maybe I can get a one-off body kit or something.
Awesome, dude. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. You can find us on social media, Instagram and Facebook, and Twitter too, at Sincerely Japan. And if you want to shoot me an email, it's sincerelyjapanpodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, thanks again.